data, and there's a whole bunch of different groups within IPGC doing various things. So there's project groups, there's working groups. For example, a working group might develop a protocol for sequencing on an Illumina machine. How do you make your library? How do you do DNA extraction? How do you make your library? What fragment size do you use? How do you sequence? So everybody's following the same protocol. But the group that we're going to talk about is the DACO group, so the Data Access Compliance Office. So if you would like access to the controlled access data, this is what you need to do. You need to identify yourself, fill out the forms, whole bunch of paperwork that contains the information that you want access to, the IP that you have for keeping the data secure, etc. And you must agree to the rules of accessing controlled data, and you sign it, your institution signs it, and you send it back. The person who signs it, though, from your institution, is the person that can fire you if you break any of those rules. So it's under that person's authority that if it's reported that you did something unapproved with that information, like share it with a colleague who didn't have DACO access, then the DACO office can notify your institution, and the regulations are there for a reason. That being said, it's not. There's a huge number of people who have access to the data. It's really useful to be able to compute on this data. So this is the login page if you have access. So this is Francis logging in, and he's filling out his information as if he was applying for DACO controlled access. And currently, if you did not have controlled access and you logged in, this is what you would do. Nothing. Everything's red. If you have DACO approval, then everything turns green, and this is sort of an indication of the kinds of things that you can gain access to. The application it's not very long. It's available online, and once you have approval, you can log in with OpenID, Google ID, etc. So it's linked in with other ID systems. And login is at the top of the portal, and you'll see a different version of the portal then. All of the data within the portal undergoes a publication moratorium, and it differs depending on when the data was submitted and how much of that data has been submitted. But you should be aware of the moratorium on publication. The reason that there is a moratorium is that the group who computed, like Canada, let's say, is doing pancreatic data, and they are submitting their pancreatic data to the IPGC. Well, they have first rights to publish on the pancreatic data before a group in, let's say, Italy wanted to publish on pancreatic data. I mean, it seems scientifically fair that kind of moratorium exists. It differs depending on the data submitted. So the yellow bars are the submission time points. You have 2 years before the moratorium is removed if you have a small amount of data that you're submitting. If you're submitting large amounts of data, like 100 submissions, your time point is actually shorter. If you do one submission and then you do a big bulk submission, then you get 1 year after that, so it sort of falls back to this model here. If you do more than one and then you do 100, well, it starts to say, well, you've already reached, you have 100, but at 2 years, this is the 2 year point, from this submission, your time is up, the moratorium is released. So that's there is a moratorium, it sort of depends on the data, but all of that is clearly marked within the control data. And if you want more information on publication guidelines, they of course are available. So IPGC puts its raw data within EBI's EGA. So if you're looking for the raw data, the raw controlled data is within EGA. CCGA is storing it in the Cancer Genome Hub, CG Hub, I believe. And that's where you would gain access to the data. So from the I guess to reiterate, from the IPGC website, you can get open data. If you're looking for controlled access data, that data is behind a login and also stored within EGA. Lots and lots of documentation within IPGC on all of these bits. And the URLs for all the things that I have talked about. Things that we have not talked about, which are just as important, is a study that is just wrapping up right now. Actually, I suspect that it will conclude while you are in this workshop, and it'll be announced while you're in this workshop. It's really critical evaluation. Some earlier publications have already come out from PCGA on a pan-cancer analysis, but this is a pan-cancer analysis now using all of the IPGC data. I believe they did 2,000 tumors. Anybody aware? Anyway. So what they've done is they selected tumor normal pairs from across a whole bunch of different tumors within the IPGC, and they are computing it in the same way. So they're doing the same alignment, the same variant calling tools, the same quality control filters, etc. So all of the data has been analyzed in similar pipelines. In fact, there were 3 pipelines. The pipelines were merged so that the overlap with those pipelines, all of the data was validated. So it's a huge amount of effort. I think it's a couple of years that they've been working on this, but that should be finishing this week, and that is coming available. As well, there is the International Cancer Genome Consortium Collaboratory in the cloud. So it's one thing to have all this IPGC data available. If you can't compute on it all in one place, you don't want to download all of that to your laptop, what do? You don't have all the research. So the collaboratory is a place to go where you can compute, and all of the data from IPGC is sitting there. So that's what IPGC is. That is the end of my part, and we're going to switch to IGD at this point in time. But before we switch, are there any questions on the information that I presented on behalf of Francis? You're all familiar. You knew that all anyways, right? Yes, true. Okay, so really interesting stuff. There's 2 lab exercises that we will endeavor to do just after the lunch break. One is on IGD. This one is the one that we're going to start with because you're going to spend the rest of your week doing IGD. But there is also an exercise on IPGC and learning to do some analyses with it. It's a really, really, really cool portal, especially if you're like myself. I have a biological background, and the exam line doesn't come as naturally, but being able to drill down using faucets is really, really, really helpful. Any questions?
So this pan-cancer quantity measure, where's the data coming from?
IGD, yes, that's correct.
Just one data, why is that 2,800 whole genome patients per
No, so 2,800 tumor normal pairs from the submitted data within IPGC were selected to participate in this pan-cancer whole genome analysis. So a whole bunch of tumor normal whole genome sequences from various projects within IPCC. Which one? Yeah, yeah. Right. Very good question. I believe the whole data, the pan-cancer analysis is going to be unrestricted. I think it's going to be open. I'm going to double check. I'm going to go right upstairs and ask the girl who's in charge of the project and ask her. I think it's going to be open data. And what I'm going to ask her actually is whether any PCGA whole genomes were in that 2800. So this is stuff that they weren't in order to allow the somatic calls to be open. Okay? But I'm going to double check that and I'll come back. Good question. Anything else? Okay, so let's move on to, we'll do the lecture for IGD, then we'll break for lunch, and then we'll come back after lunch and we'll do the lab exercises, okay? So hi everyone, so I'm John, so I have a subject, so it's on my site that hopefully this was working, and I actually know that most of the examples of the slide are from the IGD tutorial, from the product. So IGD actually has a very good tutorial, actually, one of the sessions. So I will go through the key ranges of IGD, give an idea of what to do with it, and the tutorial will give you that in a second back here. So first IGD is a genome program, so actually quite a few different ones you can use. This one is highly used by the community and the research concept community. So you can look at different types of data, as you can see also with research, you can actually several show this one in this, you can have already got research of IGD. So you can use data, macro, and sequencing data, semantic data, some expression data, some calculum data, that's all different formats that would be accessed and you can be able to visualize it. What can we do with IGD? We can explore lots of data sets with IGD and GEDC using data. Basically, you can look at as well from different data, from clinical data and from data, for example. You can use data from your data to run it on your computer on your server and log in. You can use it from the data remotely accessed or even on the cloud. And this is a good feature because you might want to keep some PGA data, but you don't want to download everything locally and then forget. So you would be able to access it remotely. We can as well have some technical documents that if you want to take some screenshots of the audio values you code, you can actually automate the direct straight to make it automatic. So it will go to the right location and take a screenshot and take it for you. You can do it in an usage that's possible. So yes, the data from you can use, as I just said, the file. You can use data from an server, activity server from the cloud, and some of the data is related to the remote. The basic of IGD, so you would load it, you would select your genome, you would load the data you want to look at, and then you would navigate through it. For working on sequencing data, we can look at SNE, we can look at picture variables. That's the kind of thing you would do with IGD. So if you go on the IGD webpage, on the here you can see the way you would go through to be able to access it. Like either you can look at directly from the website, or you can register and download the text application to be able to make it look at your laptop. This is the type of screen you're going to get when you're on IGD. So if you're going to select the genome you want to work with, 18, 19, now it's 1 year 19, but you fill up the option, right? And then you will load it. So you will load your data by loading either from server, either from that you have on data from your end. And you can load some public data. And here I will think about the tutorial you can use public data number. So this is the layout, and this is the basic first one. So you have different buttons on this page. At the top you have the menu of the application. You have the toolbar, which you can play with, like to go back to the initial setting, or to turn off and on and on a couple of information that can become personal when people went on. So it's probably something you can turn off by default. You can see that in the tutorial. You do have the genome ruler track. So here you can see we actually look at the whole genome column 1 to 20 genomics apart. And then we're going to be able to zoom in. Every single row below is track. So this one column is control track. And then we go into the zoom completely out. You don't see much, you can see coverage. You have the track name on the left, and you have actually here the attribute column information. So you can load some clinical data, for example, you can specify if you have the sex location, if you have the treatment or not, if you have classification of the type of genome you're looking at. So this can be color coded here. And you can tell where it is loaded as well. So that's this is of the tracking of particular domain. And I could put up the genome picture. So that would be where the gene description of you can see that it is in, you would see the name of the gene and then the location of the exome and the internal selected. So what file format can you use? Basically, the file format you input is define how the track is going to look like. So you don't have to give the setting because you will look at the design file, so it's going to show what you want to show for that, and you that have a line, and then you can plug them with different methods. These are an example of the file format you able that IGD can handle, and actually there are more than that, so there is under the link at the bottom. You can click one for as far as the sequencing out that file as well. That's the one we use it most of the time, so they all you check all use all of them. So we want to use some alignment, so that's what you do and what you start with, and then you don't see much on the actually other indication that you need to zoom into this alignment. So you would do that by using either putting a particular more correct particular position here, or just zooming into the top. Yes. And when you zoom in, how far you need to go to actually see the alignment, what is the of the file is in the coding. Using it to CK, it depends on what your coverage. So how much you have at a particular rotation. So if your coverage is very high, you will need a lot of memory, so you're going to have to zoom more to be able to split. If you have low coverage, that's easier, but we always go to high coverage. So it's just a set of the high. It's not that I cannot give you the number, it's not the data you can load. But you can expect it to make faster than so when we zoom in, we can actually go deeper and deeper and just them kind of you show on your lecture. So what is also great gray are the regions that are matched properly to the dark gray. If you actually go, so if the color goes more transparent even to the white, that means I don't see an example of the background, that means the quality of the image is poor when it's way too white. So you will affect it. So if you have a kind of background gray, it's good. And then all this color brown, like you can see as a blue, is that all the mismatch compared to the refract. So if you have a color of mismatch like here, that's pretty consistent at the same position, it's likely to be a mismatch. So anything is not here. So you can literally kind of logic what might be more similar, and then you can zoom in and see more things. We're going to do it this afternoon. So there's a median scripture variation. So that's what we can mainly look at when you have polygon or something. So what are the important metrics we want to look at to evaluate the system technically? First the coverage, then how often this action is actually present, the amount of sequence. Is there any different artifacts? Are all the results have this different duplication? Are they all on the system? What they call it on the system? If they are all on the system, that's not a good indication that something that is probably an artifact. The matching quality of the data as well. The stronger the colors, the better the quality. So if it's you will see the next slide. If it's a dark red, that means the quality was very good on the tape. If it's a light red for the T, that means it was not a good quality. So that's what you're going to look at for particular images. To be able to just like yourself after you've been coding it with some tool to teach you practical. In terms of scripture values, we can look at the coverage, the insertion intersite. I will give an example after. So if you have a non-effective intersite, you would use a good indication that the scripture values happen. And some weak orientation. We have some slides about showing how this happens. So that's an example of a click or into G. So basically you can see that there is an alternative to the island of the energy. And on the top you have the coverage slash. I just want to show my mouse. Here? Yes. Here. So that gives you the percentage of P to C. So you get basically 40%. So that would be a very good thing. And you can stop. You can stop the alternate by days and you would have all the C at the top. This is an example of another one. And here we color the read by hand. So the red one is the forward scan and the one is the reverse scan. So you can see that all the alternative data that here the C are on the basket scan. So and none of them are on the red lead. So it's not a good indication of acceptable example. Okay. We can look some different structural elements. So there we can give you a good indication of a structural element, like multiplication, acceleration, observational, negation, for example. We can take the intersite and the pair orientation that is within you. You can use to get the structural element visually. So when you do the application, your CPA or your CPA, and then you do your fragment, your DNA, and then you will select a particular type. Usually it's another characteristic distribution. So there is a distribution of how on the site, so it's another characteristic as the generator of 10. And then you will add some adaptive, and then you will start sequencing for the natural going inside. So that's a theory, that's a kind of sequencing theory you will have. So you're taking a particular intersite when the experiment goes well, and when you don't have any structural values. Quite often it's 360 experiments, or different experiments, you will know when you have the data that's so when you align it, when you align the theory, you can actually insert the intercept site to check how far apart they are. So if they are a lot further or a lot closer, something happens to your genome compared to the reference one. So the intercept scan can be used to detect gain and and that's because of my reference. It happens that sometimes you vary one of the pairs with one chromosome and just one of the other chromosome. So probably some solution happens if both match well, so that's an indication.